In today's movement sequence, I'll be taking you through a beginner's version of hip mobility drills. So if you've never done any sort of mobility ever, this little sequence is fantastic and your hips will thank you afterwards. All right, let's go ahead and begin. When you are doing any kind of lower body exercises, you want to feel great in your joints. And addressing hip mobility drills beforehand is going to help you achieve that. First position is an active stretch. Now this feels amazing. So go ahead and come into a half kneeling. You want to lengthen your back leg here, tuck your tail, and also squeeze that same glute. Now that's important because if you squeeze that glute as you gently lean forward, you're going to help release a lot more of the hip flexors that are most likely pretty darn tight. Go ahead and hold that for 5 breaths and then switch your sides. If you are a beginner, take this slow. Try not to lean forward excessively and focus on that glute squeeze. Next, we are addressing rotation for our hip joints. Let's do our hip CARs, controlled articular rotations, borrowed from the FRC method. From a 4-point position, you're going to draw circles both directions with this knee. Now think about keeping that same leg bent at 90 degrees and moving from your hip. The rest of your body stays very stable throughout. Now each leg might be a little bit different with how much of a circle you can create. As long as your back is remaining neutral and you're moving from the hip joint, you're going to feel activity through your glute muscles and the side of your hip as you draw these juicy circles. Okay, next up we have is the 90-90 external and internal rotation. So this base position, both knees at 90 degrees, my feet are flexed. I'm going to go ahead and take turns facing each of my knees. And as I do that, I am really actively pressing both legs into the floor. Now I know it doesn't look like much, it looks like I'm just hanging out, but what I'm actually focusing on is pressure created by my body pressing downward, and that's going to translate to greater range of motion in my hip joints. I'm trying to activate within each of these sides. Now what you can do is hold each of these positions facing both knees for about 5 breaths, and then after that we can go ahead and transition for the other side. And again, just like the hip CARs we did previously, each side is going to be a little bit different. You're going to learn about your body. Maybe one side feels a little easier in one position versus the other. That is completely okay. You are just learning now about hip mobility and just getting more active in your hip joint in this base position. And last but not least, we're going to go ahead and create a bridge. Now this is just activating through our glutes. We did a lot through the hip joint already. Now we're just going to put this into play and see how we feel with that activity and that connection through our hip region. Great job. I hope your hips are feeling amazing. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Thanks so much and have a great day.